Now this is just going to be a very brief, quick little video. I was sort of tagged by Claire Smith. If you've not checked out Claire, she's got a wonderful YouTube channel. She talks about lots of different fragrances. She also can sometimes bring quite a scientific twist. She's got quite a fantastic nose. She's very to the point. Blunt, not the right word, but she certainly says what she feels, and it's very refreshing. And basically this little tag, I don't know who it was started by, is just to kind of go through fragrances that are inappropriately named. Okay, so I'll get... Now it's going to be a very brief one for me, for a change. I know I always say that, but it is. There's no need to waffle on so much, but I'll get rid of the elephant in the room first with the stupidly named fragrances, or inappropriately named. Don't forget, it's all subjective, it's all a bit of fun. Enjoy your fragrances, you know what I mean? Don't take it too seriously, don't be offended. But anyway, you know what I was going to say, so let's get it out of the way. And that is Initio's Oud, inverted commas, for greatness, inverted commas. Oud, I'm sure there's a trace amount in it because they wouldn't have used the name otherwise, or maybe there's a lot of it, I just can't smell it. I'm not familiar with this Oud. And whether it's great, well, great again is a subjective term. I come from Great Britain, which doesn't mean that it's awesome Britain or fantastic Britain or wonderful Britain. It just means it's Greater Brittany, doesn't it? Bigger Brittany. And I suppose one thing you can't say about Oud for Greatness is that it's not big, it's not bombastic. Certainly one you'll smell. But for me personally, I don't know what I would have called it. Sugary, lavender, dense extremo or something like that. The beast mode blob. Well, yeah, I mean, again, like I say, it's all subjective, so of course it's up to you. If you love Oud for Greatness, good for you. But I personally think it's perhaps slightly misleading, that name. Alright then, thank you. Now then, nobody worry, I'm not going to go off on one, I promise. We all know how I feel about this. But also I'd basically add any fragrance that has the word homme or femme or any sort of version of that on them. I don't know why they name that. If they weren't named that, would people be confused about what to buy? Would they sniff it and would the head explode? Why is it needed? Really? Especially in the 21st century? But you know, some people need to be told what to buy and stuff. And if they didn't have homme or femme, no one would be able to go, well, traditionally it was such and such. But yeah, personal to me, and I won't go off on one. I'm just going to go home now and eat some feminine leaning strawberry chocolate and drink some masculine leaning beer. Right, thank you. Now next, you're going to be surprised by this, but is the whole My Kind of Love range from Kilian. Just because I love the house and I even love some of these fragrances doesn't mean that I don't think the names are, let's say, ridiculous. I mean, I don't need a prince to be a princess, blah 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 blah, whatever it is. Also, you know, chilling sat on a toadstool because I'm a princess, come fuck me is probably another name. And the proper English northern version, alright love, my name's Dave, get your coat you've pulled, let's go home and shag. That was probably one that just didn't quite make it. Yeah, you get my point. I'm not really... Who were they aimed at, really? They were not really quite smutty, but they were, I don't know, they were written by a group of teenagers who really aren't all that amusing. Whatever. The lovely fragrances, ridiculous names. So that's the Kilian My Kind of Love fragrance range, which is also, may I add, discontinued. I don't think it's because of the names, which I'm quite sad they're discontinued, but yeah, Kilian's My Kind of Love. not the greatest name fragrances in the world. I suppose just quickly to add, they could have just been called Princess, Kissing, Shagging, you know, whatever. They could have just focused on the main world. Any word. Anyway, that's me finished. Thanks, bye. Nearly at the end now, only 2 more categories, and again I'll be brief. This one is actually fragrances that just have numbers as names. Now I have a few and I quite like the fragrances, I'm not going to lie. 302 from Bon Parfumerie is a very lovely fragrance, for example, and me and Sam Smells, I recommend you go check out her channel. She's northern like myself, much better at me. She gives a lot of detail, she goes through a lot, she's a good sense of humour, a brilliant nose and a brilliant knowledge, but also a bit like me, she goes off on side rants which are brilliant. She's just great. Anyway, I recommend you go checking her out, and link will be in my channel. Anyway, numbered fragrances. Come on, what do they mean? Oh, this is not at Chanel. The numbers in Chanel and certain brands have a certain sort of meaning about them, don't they? Like number 5 obviously has a meaning behind it, etc. However, what is the point in a fragrance? I'm not picking on Bon Parfumerie, but what does 302 mean? What does 911 mean? What does 565 mean? You know, what do all these things mean? So they just don't tell you anything about the fragrance. Now in a way that makes it interesting because you don't know what to expect, I suppose you could say, and it makes it exciting and intriguing. But that's not really true, is it? Because you can read the notes what are in a fragrance and get an idea about it. A name, an actual name, is supposed to create an image, a story, an idea, a place to visit in your head. And these fragrances, they always have some blurb about them, don't they? It's not just this fragrance is called 123, end of it. 123 was inspired by golden raindrops falling on a big nose or something. But anyway, that's numbered fragrances. Just give them a bloody name. Come on, you've got these marketing people. Next, and kind of finally, with the inappropriately or stupidly named fragrances, are flankers that aren't flankers. They're just there because, I don't know, the brand are trying to milk the original. These flankers have absolutely nothing to do with the original. They're kind of not along the same theme. It's just like, I don't know, are they too lazy, or like I say, are they just trying to cash in on the original, on the original great name? And a good example of that would be, say, the Boss Bottled line. Great fragrances, not going to complain about them. Boss Bottled, the original, is you know, it's an iconic fragrance, and there's been some good flankers that are kind of along the same line, and then there's been some flankers that have just got absolutely nothing to do with the original at all. They're just different fragrances. Why not call them a different name? What's the point in them being flankers? It's madness, isn't it? I don't get it. And they just bring it. Well, the Lamal line is another example, where a lot of them are just limited edition bottles with slightly different names, but it's the same fragrance. Okay, I suppose at least you're still calling it Lamal. So yeah, but this endless flankers, I think they're poorly named, and there's no need, is there? Just come on, you've got all this money, make us some new fragrances. Alright, that's the end of that. So thanks for watching, everyone. I know it's quite brief, probably not the most interesting video, but I thought it was interesting. Claire's video is brilliant and I recommend you go and check that out. And thanks for tagging me, Claire. And Claire does go into a lot of interesting detail and depth and has proper suggestions for other names and why she thinks they're poorly named, and that is really good. Anyway, go check that out. What about you lot? What do you think is a poorly named fragrance and why? What would you rename it? Are there any lines that you think are quite ridiculous? Do you agree with me that some of them are badly named? Right, thanks folks, bye.